While this programme has been given special access to Nottinghamshire's dedicated knife crime team, the only specialist police unit of its kind outside London.
Several officers are gathering intelligence and then targeting people suspected of carrying blades. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
On patrol in St Anne's with the knife crime team, time for blue lights and sirens as they spot another suspect. Rob Lawton's one of 9 officers who do this job day in, day out.
There's information that you might be carrying weapons, or in possession of weapons.
No. Break that down to me.
The driver's furious he's been stopped.
Are you going to open your door for me?
We don't want to damage your car, do we?
It's about being professional, explaining why we've searched, explaining the grounds, explaining all the legality, and just explaining what we're doing. Just stop resisting and calm down.
Officers seized 2 lock knives and a hammer that was next to the gear stick. The driver, who's in workman's clothes, says they're simply tools for his job, but he's arrested. And a short drive away, another vehicle stopped. This driver's wanted for a motoring offence. Here, no weapons were found, but a check reveals the car's been reported stolen near Manchester, another result for the knife crime team.
What you see on the wall are the knives and weapons that have been seized by the knife crime team since they were set up.
At the police station, this grim display, photos of more than 250 weapons the team's recovered, among them machetes and axes.
We have had some big knives, but we are seeing more craft knives, more Stanley knives. So the slightly smaller knives, they could potentially be easier to conceal. Every knife we seize is a knife that's not in circulation, and every knife we seize is potentially protecting somebody from harm and saving lives.
And for the men who've been arrested, it's the start of a long night in the cells, as the seized hammer and knives are taken away as evidence. More suspects in custody, and for the knife crime team, more pictures for their office wall.
Jeremy's back in the studio, as you can see. This then is just part of a big push to really get on top of knife crime, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's all part of what they're calling Operation Sceptre. Now, all sorts of stuff going on there at the moment. You'll have heard in the last few days about those knife amnesties, test purchases today. A number of shops in Nottingham were found selling blades to children this week. A couple of really interesting ideas coming on stream as well at the National Justice Museum in the city. They're now planning what they're calling a knife crime learning zone, and they've just started another scheme in Nottingham called Violence Interrupters. Now, that's based on a really successful programme in Chicago called Ceasefire.
So tell us then, how does that actually work?
It's really about stopping fights breaking out at flashpoints, so fast food chains, fashion stores, places where rival groups tend to meet up. And what they do is they use volunteers who've got real clout with the people they're targeting. And they say in its first week, it's already dealt with around 100 teenagers in the Nottingham area. They say there have been 3 incidents where they've actually stopped violence breaking out in that first week. And of course, that's just one of several knife crime prevention programmes across the East Midlands that are being funded now by our police and crime commissioners.